Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Hello, art lovers and gentlewomen. A very warm welcome to my gallery, KONSTANZE WOLTER, e.artis Contemporary. I'm really proud to present you today the new paintings by Jeppe Lauge. Jeppe Lauge is a Danish artist. He was born in 1980. He lives and works in Denmark now, but had lived in the Netherlands for 11 years because he had his studies there. He had an art education at the Gerrit Rietveld Academy in Amsterdam. He was nominated for several awards and had a lot of exhibitions all around Europe, in Denmark, in Luxembourg, in France, in the Netherlands, in Greece and in Germany. I discovered him at the Luxembourg Art Prize in 2017, and it was really nice to see his paintings there. I was really impressed and I wanted to get in touch with him to see who's the painter of these paintings. So to meet the artist was great, and we started working together. And he was here for the first time in 2018 for the group show Digital. So this is our second solo exhibition of Jeppe Lauge here at the gallery, and I'm really proud that you can see it online today all over the world. Let's have a look at the first painting. This oil painting is the one which gave the title to the exhibition. It's called As One Sees. Hi Jeppe, how are you?
Hi Constanze, I'm good. I'm very excited that this finally comes along after a long wait. But as I can see from what you showed me, from my digital tour of the exhibition, everything looks really nice, and I hope that I'll soon be able to see it in real.
The title of the exhibition is As One Sees. I just want to know, what red line do you see between the paintings, and why did you give it the title, or did you give it the title As One Sees? What are you questioning?
For me, As One Sees is literally as you are seeing, as one sees. It's a question on how do we see our environment, how do we see the people around us, how do we relate to problems, and how do we solve them. So it's really a matter of how do we engage into our surroundings that I'm questioning as one sees. For example, if I have a problem on something and I wanna solve it, this solution, my solution, can maybe become somebody else's problem. And in that way, the way I see something can be completely opposite on the way you see something. And I think this aspect on how you see things and how we see things very differently as humans is very interesting. So that is some of the base thoughts for creating the exhibitions. And then I used of course the landscape as a metaphor, or as a way of asking the questions on how do we relate to our surroundings, to our environment.
Okay, so nature has been a crucial part of your artworks for a long time now. What is the reason? Landscape is a metaphor, you said?
Yeah, but it's more than just a metaphor. It's something that really, it affects us. It does something to us as a human. When I walk out in nature, I have a certain feeling. When I walk out in the city, I have a certain feeling. And these different feelings affect who I am. And that is some of the reasons why I think the landscape is so important to me. Because I'm not just a brain, I'm somebody with a body, and my body and my brain get affected by the outside world, and live in some kind of harmony with it, or at least try to live in some kind of harmony with it, or in some kind of relation between us. Yeah, and that's why I'm fascinated by the landscape, and that's why I use it in my work.
Would you say that you are really often out in nature?
Indeed I am. I try to get out as much as possible. Yeah, and also when I do my work, before I can start painting, I go out with my camera and photo document, and it's these pictures or this image material that I'm using to create the landscapes that I have on the canvases.
You said you are taking the pictures out in nature and editing it digitally. Is it that's why the people get a digital feeling of your artworks, although they are really painted analog?
Definitely plays a role, but I think that the geometric abstraction is more to say that we are living in a kind of combined world where you have nature and culture, like the old battle between that. So it represents this duality in it, and that's why I have this geometric part. But of course, it do reference to technology and how we see that pixelating things, when it has this geometric grid into it, for sure. Yeah.
What is your intention? We can see here in the background portrait of a tree, and we see a really fantastic grid of the painting. And what is your intention to build the tree in that way into or on the canvas?
I think with the series of portrait of a tree, I was fascinating in the whole thing of looking at the individual combined with, or in relation to, looking at the mass. Because normally when we talk about a landscape, we talk about a bigger picture of a landscape. It's not just a tiny bit, it's the bigger whole. So in that sense, I wanted to turn it around and just looking at the small things. Also because it's the small things that makes the whole. And that was kind of what drove me into to start looking at the individual trees and trying to just do a portrait of that, and actually asking people to zoom in and look on the details. And that is also a part of how it's built up by tiny bits of details, tiny bricks, tiny blocks, tiny geometric elements that all together becomes the whole picture. And if you take some of them away, well, then you won't have the whole picture anymore. So yeah, that's kind of the connection between how it's painted and the symbolism in doing a portrait. That is the individual to the versus the many. So.
Here is a triptych called Three of a Kind, and does it also relate to the idea of an individual tree but coming here in three ways?
In a way, yeah, but I think when I started doing Three of a Kind, I was interested in in portraying the same thing more than once, to see what will happen, and also to do it in different sizes. Because when you look at things in different sizes, it has a different impact on you. Often I say that either I work in very small canvases or in very big canvases, because with the small canvases it goes in through my eyes, and with the big canvases I relate to them with my body. So I wanted to do these three different sizes to see how I would relate to them, but also in a perspective of how we see things in the media, how much attention different things get. Because when you have something that's bigger, something that gets more media time, something that gets represented more, well then of course its presence will get more noticed and have a bigger effect or bigger impact than something else that is hiding or smaller. So this relation, I think, is interesting for me. Was interesting for me to try and paint out, to do the different sizes, to see if it would also be like that in a painting world.
Okay, let's. This is free of a kind. Then we have a small portrait of a tree, and we have one painting you recently changed the title.
Yeah.
And it is called To Be Continued. Does it mean you are not finished yet, or what does it mean?
I changed the title because actually of the story that that came behind the painting. Because I was out one morning, it was early, the sun was just rising, and I come to this opening in the forest. There's a field of young pine trees coming up, and the sun is rising behind it, and everything is kind of like getting into an immaculate harmony. The fog is rolling in, the glitter and the cobwebs, like everything is a kind of bit too beautiful to be true, you know? It's one of these situations where you're like, wow, this is amazing, but it will never be a painting because you cannot represent anything like this. Then it will be a cliche on nature, or a romantic idea that you're trying to portray, instead of a question about nature and culture and the relation. But I took a series of photos that morning anyway, and they kind of kept rolling in my head. I could not leave them, and that led to a point where I said, okay, I have to continue with this. There has to be something else in these photos, because why would it else keep surfacing on my mind? And then I was like, yeah, when I look at this landscape that had this immensely romantic impact on me, I see that it's a highly cultivated landscape with planted trees. It's probably going to be Christmas trees or decoration trees or timber that you're going to use for, so it's kind of industry. But still, I had this feeling of complete wonder when I walked into it, and that was amazing. And it created a relation where I thought, here's an idea where a perception of nature meets a cultural question, or where the nature gives me a feeling that is also used for a cultural purpose. And that kind of became the seed for for the idea to actually making a painting out of it. So this thing of being in a process together, to work together, to continuously be on a path that can lead to something. The sun was rising that morning and a new day came. So this thing of a landscape in development, that it can change, and also change with how we want to form our environment and use it in both a way where nature can thrive in it and culture can thrive with it. That was what made me do this painting, and also call it to be continued, because this is really a work that I see that we should learn from in the future. How do we want to change our planet into a way where we can be here and nature can be here? So it's a matter of how do we continue forward. That's the questions within the painting.
Would you say that sustainability is a big issue for you and also the work you do?
I think it's an important question for everybody, because it really affects how we live and how we can live in the future. So I think these questions are highly important to question. Yeah, definitely.
What is it for artists? What do you think? What can they do to be more environmental friendly?
Well, I think artists can do like every other person could or should do. Think about the choices in their daily life, see what they can do and what they can't do. But I think what we as artists can do is that we can talk about it. We have a platform, we show our works, and through our works we ask questions. And in that sense, I think we as artists have a role to play, because bringing these topics up and talking about them in a different way than the media would do normally. I think that can touch people in a completely different way than if you're just saying, hey, you have to do like that. No, we're saying, maybe think about these things and make your choice.
What would you say? Is there one thing you say to the people who would like to own one of your paintings?
Follow your heart and enjoy the painting, and hopefully it will make you think and have thoughts for a long, long time. Simultaneous with that, you enjoy the colors, the technical aspects, what the painting represents, and also in visual. So yeah, enjoy.
So have a nice day, and thank you so much for the talk, Jeppe, and your time.
Thank you, and have a wonderful opening. I wish that I could have been there, but let's see soon in the future. Bye from here. Hey.
Bye bye, Jeppe. Attention please, and if you are on a desktop device, you can be interactive in our gallery and walk on your own through the exhibition in our live art gallery. Just click the link below, scroll down to live art gallery, and then enter, and you are there in a multiplayer game, and you can also jump. So enjoy the exhibition interactive. I hope you really enjoyed the talk and you get the feeling of the paintings. They are really extraordinary, And I really recommend you to get one for your own environment, to get the spirit and the atmosphere of the paintings in your own home or your own place, wherever you are. We really ship worldwide, so nevertheless, if you are in the United States, in South Korea, the UK, or in Oberlungwitz, we will ship it to you. If you want to have a look in our shop, just click the link below, e.artis.com, and visit the website. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me in the way you prefer. I really look forward to hear from you. So have a nice evening. Goodbye and good luck.